It started kind of towards the end of year 11. I started trying to think of things to do, and then I was originally going to do a surf film, and then from that it progressed to what it has become, and I went through different forms and tried to do painting and experimented with that, and then went back to film, and then it developed into something completely different which has nothing to do with surfing. The main thing that inspired me about time-based artwork was how I could communicate my concept with the audience and really capture what I was trying to say. I started off doing documentation for my other body of work, for my society and culture piece, and I was doing interviews with artists then, and then that footage started to resemble Andy Warhol's screen tests, and then from that I kind of started moving away from surfing and even the paint work that I did, and then that moved on to looking at the human psyche, and then delved into that side of things, and then I added the water element with filming and chose my models and all that kind of thing. And the biggest thing that inspired me about time-based form was to really capture what I was trying to say. The main subject matter really, it's called fluid changeability, so it's all about the fluidity and kind of the ease of thought and the transition that we go through in thinking, and that we can kind of think about one thing that leads to another, and then it moves on. And the main concepts that I really tried to convey was the universality of that, and that change is really universal across everybody, and that's why I chose an array of different people from different backgrounds, and they all had that one similar thing with the water cascading down their face, and that kind of linked them all up. And then in that I tried to reflect my concepts of just fluid thoughts. Yeah, the process diary really helps you in mapping out what you're doing, especially when you're jumping from different forms like I did, jumping from paint to time-based work to even one point I wanted to do sculpture, and just researching it through that way. And there was little traces that went through each, and obviously there's still a water element to my work, which can still be traced back to the early beginnings when I did want to do surf and underwater film. So I think by constantly looking back of where I'm going and trying to trace and map out really what I want to end up with, the diary really helped with that. And I think you need to focus a lot more on maybe not so much trying to make the diary look all pretty, but really to be specific in what you're saying, so that when you are looking back on your diary you can read it and go, yep, cool, this is where I'm at, that's what I'm doing, and then really go ahead with it. Honestly, I can say that I could have managed my time better, but I think the key thing to managing your time with any practical stuff with visual arts is to, when you're feeling creative and when you actually need to start doing it, write down ideas and kind of do that sort of thing. I manage my time really by just trying to focus on when I felt like doing it straight away, and I had like 4 other major works to do, so I kind of, when I needed to focus on each one, I did, and I didn't really limit myself to a set hour of doing just one and then stopping. Like if you keep going with it and then working on it pretty much till the end, I think final editing like the last night, you know what I mean? It's just anything worth doing should take you time, and you should be doing it right to the end. So the artists that influenced me the most were probably a whole bunch of contemporary video artists, Kate Murphy, Bill Viola, even some of Ryan McGinley, he's a contemporary photographer, looking at some of his portrait work and really just researching video artists and video portraits. And I think it's really important that you keep your mind open to all sorts of artists and keep researching even while you're at the end. Thinking about the audience is obviously a big part in any artist practice, but my work was slightly more ambiguous, and I think that really who am I to say that someone should have a certain particular experience while watching my work. So I really created work for myself, and the reactions that I've got have been really different, really diverse, so it really comes down to what they feel at the time and how they're viewing it. But you definitely have the intent that someone's going to watch it, you know, you don't just produce this work for it not to ever be seen. To be honest, you know, it's really humbling to be selected for ARTEXPRESS. It's just, yeah, it's amazingly gratifying to know that you've worked on something for, you know, just over a year, and that that work kind of pays off with people recognising it. So I hope the reason why I was selected was because that they saw something in it that I wanted to, and that everyone can get the message that I'm trying to portray.